Hello everyone and welcome to World of Warships. Now I do have the big bad you-know-what, so my voice might sound a little bit off, but health-wise I'm doing just fine. Um, so yes, I'm going to start a new series on this channel. Instead of doing World of Warplanes, I want to try doing some World of Warships. And as such, I thought of no better way than to do this. So a quick background, I used to be a closed beta tester back in the day, but I never went hardcore to try to grind out the lines. So my highest tier right now is tier 6, and that is a premium. But otherwise, I have every tier 5 tech tree ship in my port right now, and I'm just trying to work through them. From what I hear, I've been watching some videos, and people are talking about how higher tier gameplay just really is not that great. So I'm not rushing to get down to the higher tiers. Instead, I'm enjoying this low tiers where the game, to me, is still pretty fun. And as such, I'm still trying to learn what each line does in particular as well, because there's a lot more lines than when I left the game the first time. So I'm trying to learn what each line does. And that takes quite a while. So, in any case, I'm playing the Tier 5 Visby today. It is on the European line, I believe. Um, and yeah, when I do this series, I'm kind of trying to just give my overall opinion on it. I don't know anything about the stats really, and how they compare to others, so I'm not going to go into depth with the stats. But I do want to give my opinion, just like on how it feels. Just someone that hasn't really played the game in forever. So anyway, I started off, my logic was to go into the middle because I can move around, I'm still nimble, I'm not going to hit any islands. And maybe I could deal with some counter DD play in the beginning, which it looks like I have been. That T-22 got wrecked. I lost some health, but it's worth it because I'm distracting the enemy team, taking some of the fire, and I am very much dealing with these DDs. So I'll go over my idea on what this line is supposed to be in a little bit, but right now we're very much headlong into combat. So we got an Isokaze right here, and I feel like I can take him on pretty easy. He's a Japanese destroyer, so he's not going to fire his guns. He's trying to maneuver a lot, so he's not really firing back at me, and I can take him out. Whew, that was action-packed. And quite frankly, I was a little worried that I was going to die in the start here, because that was a bit scary, but we made it through, and now I'm in a smoke screen, so the enemy carrier cannot spot me, which is kind of cool. But anyway, this line, to me, it seems like the feature is you don't really have smoke screen, but you're pretty fast and you have good guns. Your torpedoes, however, are garbage. Generally speaking, they have fast speed, and they actually can go pretty far. If you can see, like it's bigger than my detection range, so technically I can stealth fire my torpedoes, which at this tier, from my experience, doesn't seem to be a whole lot of ships that can actually claim that. So that is one very good benefit from this line. The problem with this ship is it doesn't have smoke, and as a new player, it means it's very difficult, and I get myself into trouble quite a bit just because I get hyper aggressive. But I'm trying in this battle to just be supportive. It looks like we got a hit, torpedo hit on something. I'm not really sure what we hit, to be honest, but we did hit something. And so the torpedoes, they can be stealth fired, but they do such little damage that you really don't want to rely on your torpedoes that much. I mean, if you get every single one of your I think it's 6 torpedoes, if you get all 6 of your torpedoes to land on a target, a battleship, you generally do less than half their health. So you definitely cannot rely on your torpedoes to deal damage, especially if you're only getting like 1 or 2 hits. You're just not going to be doing a lot of damage. I want to kill this Acosta, but that was really bad aiming on my part. So That was kind of my one chance. Here's a second shot just to see, but maybe that's a little bit too much lead. He's kind of slowed down a bit. So as you can see, I'm just trying to support the team a little bit, and I'm surprised they're not really firing at me, but I'm trying to counter the destroyers. And so far, this battle seems pretty decent. It's going fairly well. We are right now tied, but I'm trying to just deal with their destroyers. If I can counter their destroyers, then I have much more free reign of this battle. With having 4 destroyers per team, it's a little bit more difficult for me to get in. In terms of my performance, if you see something that I'm not doing and that's kind of bothering you, or a place that you could see that I could improve, please let me know, because I do want to get better at this game. Because I am by no means a great player, but I think that kind of offers a unique perspective on this game, right? I don't know what high tier gameplay is because I don't have high tiers. And I haven't played in a while, so I'm kind of coming back to it fresh. I feel like that's kind of a cool feel to it, so just let me know what you guys think. So as I get decent battles with ships, I might just kind of go over what I feel about them. So now we're trying to counter this Nicholas and the Cavour, which is the Italian battleship. I want to try to take out the destroyer first, and then I can go in and try to deal with that battleship. So far we've gotten 2 kills already, so it's pretty decent, and this is their last destroyer, so if I can take him out, we're going to be sitting pretty good. So I'm just going to keep firing at him. And I'm really not having anyone fire at me. I gotta be a little bit careful though, because that Cavour has SAP or SAP ammunition, and it will destroy me super quickly if I'm not careful. So I do have to be mindful of the Cavour and try to deal with him with a healthy respect. We lost our Wakeful, so it's a really good thing the Cavour was targeting the Wakeful and not me. One other special thing about this ship is it does get a slight heal. It's not anything crazy, but it's a minor heal, which makes it super good for dealing with other destroyers, because other destroyers generally fire HE at you, so you can kind of duel with them a bit, and you have a little bit extra health to play with. Here's some torpedoes, a little bit scared of it. Oh, that might have actually ruined my day if I had taken the hit. We got 1 hit on the Cavour, and we're going to fire some ammunition as well. It is still a 6v5, so we do have a slight lead, and I'm definitely going to take out this Cavour. There's not much he's going to be able to do, but it is by no means a victory. This is still a very close engagement. His turrets are kind of facing the wrong way, so he couldn't really do a whole lot to me, and we took him out. Of course, I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage, but I was aiming at the superstructure. One thing I kind of got to get used to is with high explosive, you don't really seem to want to fire at the main battery guns, just because it seems to not really do a whole lot. And this is a major mistake. I think this is probably the biggest mistake so far. There's a Yubari right there, and it fires very fast. It will destroy me super easily if I'm not careful. So I saw him. I don't have my speed boost, which is a pretty big problem. I need to get the heck out of here. That's why I'm not firing. I want to try to get my detection range to be as little as possible. He's going behind the island, which is a mistake on his part. He needs to be chasing me, is what he probably should be doing. He really should be trying to take me out, because yeah, I took a lot of damage right there, and I'm kind of lucky that he didn't want to kill me right then, because him killing me would have probably been his best bet. We have 4 kills right now, so we've definitely impacted the battle, and if you look at the minimap, we have created an absolute graveyard right here, which I'm very proud of. Now we have a tier 4 carrier, and he's coming after our Cavour. I think it's a Cavour. No, it might be the tier 4. It's the tier 4 Italian battleship, which I don't know how to pronunciate. But I'm going to stay by this battleship because he's healthy, and I want to have his AA help me out. One thing that is pretty decent about these ships, this line so far, is the AA is actually pretty decent for a destroyer. So I figured I would support him by giving him AA support, And in return, I would hope that he would give me AA support, which it seems like he is doing so. It is a 3v3, so it is by no means a victory, but we still have a destroyer, which, if you have a destroyer at the end of the game, you have a big advantage. And that's one thing that I'm having a really hard time with, is knowing when to attack and when not to attack in destroyers, and how to play destroyers, honestly, because it is an art. I feel like playing destroyers is definitely a delicate process where you don't want to die, but you don't want to just be hiding and doing nothing either, because then you're doing nothing, right? So you want to try to be aggressive, but not too aggressive because you don't want to die. And a lot of these lower tier ones, you cannot stealth torpedo, so it's just kind of weird. I could fire torpedoes at him, which I probably should, but he's probably going to dodge them anyway, and he's almost dead. So if we can just take him out. Also, I know he's going to target me, but if I can take some of the pressure off of our battleship as well, I figured I was going to be able to dodge, and it looks like we're okay. This battleship is definitely helping me a lot. Our only real opportunity to win for a while was if I stayed with our battleship. If the battleship wasn't here, I feel like this battle would be very, very difficult. But because we have a really good player in the battleship, in my opinion, I feel like we're going to synergize pretty well. I want to go after their carrier. The problem is, the carrier is going to be spotting me if I stay by this battleship, but also that cruiser is just going to destroy me. I don't have much health. I can't let that cruiser get shots on me because I will die. So our plan right now is to spot this Yubari, and hopefully our battleship can deal with the Yubari. And I definitely let our battleship know that, and he said okay. The great thing about the Rhine, the fact that we're facing the carrier Rhine, is that it's a German carrier, which means the torpedo planes don't do a lot of damage, which is great because even if he does land every single torpedo on our battleship really will not be taking a lot of damage. If I was playing the Rhine, I would be pulling out my AP bombers to deal with that German or the Italian battleship. But of course, he's using torpedo planes against me, which, yeah, that's never going to work. He's going to fire at me, and of course that torpedo is going to be very easy to deal with. Although there's an island here and I don't want to beach myself, so it actually ended up being a little bit of an annoying torpedo to deal with, but it's fine. So trying to dodge that plane meant that I'm kind of out of position to deal with the Yubari, but of course our battleship is almost certainly going to be able to deal with him without much issue. And because the battleship's closer to him, he's probably going to try focusing the battleship anyway. I can't get spotted because I'm behind the island, but I'm going to go and just try to support our battleship as much as possible, but he didn't need it. He was fine. So between us, we have 7 kills just between the battleship and I. So this actually turned out to be a really fun battle. By no means is it a high damaging battle, but it was a fun battle regardless because I felt like my impact in the battle to help deal with those destroyers, a lot of that damage was to destroyers, to be honest, and because of that, that's a lot of destroyer damage, honestly. Of course, I got 2 torpedo hits, so not all of it is to destroyers, but it is quite a bit of damage to destroyers, which is pretty nice. But at the end of the battle, there's a couple things that I need to realize. First of all, I'm just gonna support this battleship because my AA is not terrible, and quite frankly, that Ryan's not gonna be able to do a whole lot to me. His rocket planes, they're AP rockets, so I've played that ship, so I know how it plays. AP rockets do very, very little damage to destroyers, and by little damage, I mean almost nothing. And they're a bit hard to land anyway, so the one benefit of me facing this German carrier at the end of the game is out of all the carriers, it's probably the least dangerous to me personally, which is great. But I do have to be very careful because when I played the Rhine, the secondaries on that were just ridiculous. So I cannot get too close to him because those secondaries will obliterate me, which is the one thing I have to be careful of. The benefit, I have torpedoes that can go way beyond anything his secondaries will be able to do, so I have to at least be mindful of that. He is still targeting the Italian battleship with torpedo planes, which is a big mistake on his part. It's a serious misplay on his part, to be honest. And I was worried that the carrier, his last known position was like A8, and if he was over there, I didn't want to chase him, because it's actually a pretty fast carrier as well, and so I was just going to cap. But he decides to come towards us, which is a serious misplay. If he had gone like to the A1 or stayed by the edge of the cap, I would not have had time to deal with him, and I just didn't want to. I'm going to switch to AP because he's showing broadside, and I want to see if I can deal with him. And if we do kill him, we get Kraken. So let's see what happens here. We're going to shots out, 4 Citadel penetrations. The Italian battleship said he would let me get Kraken if that does happen. Okay, the torpedo planes were actually pretty decent, and wow, I didn't get hit, which is very nice. So, with that out of the way, um, let's look at the end game screenshots. So we ended up winning. Even if that torpedo had hit, I don't believe it would have killed me because it's a German battleship or German torpedo. So I don't think it would have killed me, but there's a good chance that it was going to kill me as well. So I just 6 Citadel hits at the end of there. That's really good, and quite unexpected, to be honest. I was not expecting to deal so much damage from AP. Like, that's damage that I would have expected from like a cruiser. So yeah, the AP was a great choice against that carrier. And shoutouts to that Italian battleship. The end game was really fun with him, and without his support, there's no way I could have won this. So in the end, we did 63,000 damage, which by no means is a bad amount for tier 5, but it's also nothing to go crazy about. I've had 100,000 games as well, so it's still pretty good though. We got Kraken and we got Devastating Strike. I assume the Devastating Strike was from the carrier, but I'm not sure. We got a whole bunch of missions complete at the bottom, so that's pretty cool. The next screenshot just looks at the team. Got 1,400 base, almost 1,500 experience base, which is pretty nice. And of course, that's like almost 400 more than the next person on the team, so that's really awesome. Definitely one of the better battles I've had in the Visby. One thing I've noticed is for me personally, it seems kind of difficult to do well in Tier 7 battles with the Visby. Mostly because you don't have smoke, so if you get caught out by a Tier 7 destroyer, good luck trying to deal with him. Of course, if you're in a Tier 7 battle, it's probably wise to find an island and support that way. Um, but this is just one of the destroyers that I just really struggle with most times, but this was actually a pretty fun battle, so yay! And the detailed report, I just wanted to look at how much damage we actually did to the Rhine, and almost 30,000 damage. That's pretty decent with just 2 salvos. I mean, we did have a third one, but it was HE, or 2 AP salvos did the vast majority of the damage to him, and wow, that's a lot of damage. I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't even have time for my torpedoes to hit him, which I thought for sure I'd need torpedoes to help me out, but I mean, wow, if you'd seen my reaction when I did that much damage with AP, like, wow, I was not expecting that. But thank you, Ryan, for not playing very well and giving me the opportunity to get Kraken at the end of the game. But hey, it was still a very fun battle, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So that is kind of my thoughts on the Visby so far. So with this series, I'm not using any experience bonuses or flags or anything. because I'm kind of enjoying this lower tier stuff, so I don't want to race through it anyway. So I've been at tier 5 for a while now. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of go over my opinions and showcase it. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'd love to have some advice in the comments. And also, if you did like this video and you want to see more like it, subscribe because I'm going to be doing more content like this. And I feel like giving feedback on lines as I play them from a perspective who doesn't really know a lot about World of Warships would be kind of cool. So, yeah, if you did like that, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Have a good day.